Welcome to Girl Talk. Now, we're in a different setting. I'm very excited about it.
Where are we?
Where are we? We are at the Vinery. If you're like me, maybe you are, I'm embarrassed to say, I drove by this place years ago and have driven by it on occasion ever since and have always meant to stop in and see what is going on in here.
And thought it was a winery.
Or maybe thought it was a winery. I didn't know what it was, which now I feel silly because it says right on the sign. But this is a stained glass studio, and it is incredible in here.
It's beautiful.
There's a lot to take in.
I just noticed I'm like looking up way off camera, and it's because there's so many beautiful pieces hanging all around here.
I know.
I think what surprised me was that I was thinking windows right away, automatically windows, and it's really so much more. It can be for your home, it can be for your business, it can be just a little small things, like a small lamp or something like that.
Or a new hobby you want to start.
Or a new hobby.
They teach you, they'll learn about their classes and even repair, something that, I don't know if we'll get to talk about today or not, but if you have a gorgeous piece at home that maybe got broken or a piece is missing, they can do anything for you and replace it.
Or teach you how to.
I know. We have so much to talk about. We'll get to that later. We have a wonderful show for you, but we will be learning about the Vinery and what they do here. So I urge you, if you have never stopped by before, make an effort to get in here because it's great. You won't be disappointed. We're also going from glass to, we're also discussing wood. So we're going to cover all the different beautiful mediums today, and the wood cycle joins us. And if you're like many of us, you may have a tree or 7 down in your yard from the recent storm.
Hopefully not on your house.
Yeah.
And hopefully not on your house, yes. But don't worry, that tree has a destiny, and it might be to be a table or a chair or maybe a beautiful frame. And we're going to teach you how to do that, and also how you can have this lovely gentleman make it something beautiful. So we'll learn about that as well. And we're talking fitness. So a great topic, right?
Always.
Absolutely.
Always a great topic. So we're talking FIT, Functional Integrated Training. That's going to be next. We'll learn how we can all find our inner athlete after the break here on Girl Talk at the Vinery.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming today on site at the Vinery. Later on, we'll take a look at what they have in store and classes that they offer for all of us to learn a little bit more about working with glass. Right now, though, we're talking about fitness with Jared. He's with Functional Integrated Training, and he believes everyone is an athlete and loves to educate to help you understand why and what to do. Jared, thanks for joining us today on Girl Talk.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you.
So, Functional Integrated Training, I love the acronym FIT. It's so perfect.
Easy.
Well, it's easy. I can say that. What makes FIT unique?
So we like to call ourselves a personalized performance training facility. And so what that really means is that when you come to our gym, your experience you're going to get is going to be one where we're going to take you through the process. We're going to personalize it. We're going to walk you step through the training process, but also nutrition, hydration, recovery, and motivation, so that you can achieve the results that you're really after, versus when you go to other facilities or other gyms, you just kind of walk in and you don't know what to do.
Don't know what to do, you're kind of on your own. So not only are you giving them the fitness aspect, but you're really giving them the whole schmear so that they can get the best possible results. That's fantastic.
Yep. I think that it's a 24/7 process, right? And we only get them for a couple hours a week. And so if we can provide the resources and the tools to educate them and allow them to, or empower them, I guess, to leave the gym and be affected by us outside the gym in their lifestyle, that's going to have a much greater effect on them long term.
Win-win.
Yeah,
Win-win.
well said. And to find your inner athlete, that's kind of a cute way of putting it, to find that it's in there somewhere, right? Even if you don't think it's for you. And to Janet's point, I think sometimes that it's hard for folks who don't have a plan or a path and don't know what to do, because you get in there and really aren't sure how to be effective. So let's talk a little bit about the benefits of following something that's more structured.
Sure, yeah. So, when we have somebody come into our gym, they are going to be put into a place where they can do training the way that we intended for them. So we're designing the program for them with their results and their objectives in mind. And so by going through the process of not just figuring out, well, I want to lose 10, 15 pounds, I want to lose some body fat, more like why they want to do that. So what's the point of it? What's the reasoning behind it? And ultimately, a lot of times comes down to performance, like something that they want to do, like playing with their kids, living a pain-free existence, whatever it might be. And that's the kind of stuff that then we can take and customize a plan, a program for them so that there's a step-by-step process. They can see 3, 6, 12 months out, where should I be? Right. And that's really what's going to allow them to see that vision and follow a path.
Boy, if you can isolate that seed of motivation, the rest is so much easier.
Much easier.
That kind of goes into my question too, you know, what are some of the accomplishments of your members? And you kind of spoke about that a little bit, but if you could just explain a little bit more.
I mean, you know, we have a large array of people, but you know, a lot of it for us really is empowering people. So we have a number of women who have had the intent of being able to do a pull-up. And come into our gym and figure out a process and a step-by-step way to approach that and actually be able to do a pull-up. I mean, when that happens, it's like the best thing they ever experienced in their life, right? Or being able to do things like, you know, pick their kids up without pain and whatnot. And a lot of times that comes down to being able to move heavy weight, to do things like a squat. We've had some women who have gotten really excited about like bench pressing.
Yeah.
You know, so women like actually bench pressing 100 pounds or 115 pounds, and it's again, I mean, when it happens, like everyone surrounding them, everyone's getting excited about it, and they just feel awesome afterwards.
And the floodgates
I love
open,
that.
and they're on their way. So now that you've got everybody motivated, how can they get started? What's the best way?
Yeah, so what we do is we set up success sessions. So everyone, when they come in, they go through our process of figuring out why, right? So they come in with a goal, and a lot of times that goal is not as specific as we need it to be to really figure out what it is they need. And so we'll talk them through that process and take in, you know, obviously health history, injury history, any other relevant background that they might have. And so that process is simply by just emailing us at the admin@functionalintegratedtraining.com email address, or calling us 630-8533. That's a great way to get started.
Alrighty.
Motivating.
Yep. Thank you very much. This is Jared. He's with Functional Integrated Training. He's an owner and one of their head coaches there. More Girl Talk right after this.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're here today at the Vinery, and before we talk about all of this glass around us a little bit later, we're going to talk about wood, which is kind of interesting, you know, juxtaposition between the two. So
They
an
work
interesting,
well.
yeah, they do. They look well and they work well together. So this is Paul, and you're the owner of the Wood Cycle. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, yeah.
And we're talking about urban woodworking,
Right.
which just sounds really interesting, and I'm excited to learn a little bit more about it. And you do custom woodwork, and so can you just give us some examples of the types of products and things that you make?
What I usually tell people is a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So we're set up where we start with a sawmill. We have logs coming out of the city already for other reasons that trees come down, and we take it all the way from log to finished product. So
Wow.
cabinetry, furniture, fireplace mantles, a little bit of everything.
Love
Wow.
A lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that's great.
The whole
So,
process.
Right.
That's incredible.
The wood cycle.
Yeah. The name is fitting.
of those that you mentioned, which is your favorite type of work?
Probably the ideal scenario is taking a tree from someone's yard, putting it right back in their home as a table or as cabinetry or something, just because those are the people that have the connections with that tree. They know the stories. It all kind of fits together real well when you're able to
I was
complete that whole.
Just
love
thinking
that.
about this old oak that we had to take down at my first home, and what a great way to use it.
And you love that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
That's really your style. And
Well, me personally, yes.
yeah. But what a cool way to kind of incorporate something like you said that's been either a part of your property or your home, or maybe you have a connection to it, but the tree can't stay anymore. To
Family
incorporate
history
it.
is quite common. That's, you know, the old family farmstead.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to keep that somehow. But this is a great way to remember it every time you see the furniture piece.
Absolutely.
So artistry, craftsmanship, way over mass production or mass-produced items. I love
Right.
that idea. So what is popular right now in your shop?
One of the things we're doing a lot of right now is big live edge tables. So by that, what I'm talking about is taking a tree that is a sizable tree. You know, urban trees, we care about them. We nurture them along as we can. That means they get to be good size. And these big trees, you can take one slab and make a full dining room table, maybe 2 slabs at most to get a full a table out of. And that seems to be a very popular thing right now because that's that natural organic shape of it. It's kind of like, you know, the flow of glass. You see the same thing in the grain of a tree.
I love
So-
that. Neat. Yeah, very cool. And I know the emerald ash borer has been in the news. It affects ash trees. And so how does this fit into your work, and can those trees be repurposed and used again?
Sure. Sure.
Okay.
The wood itself isn't actually. What will happen with the beetle? Its focus is on the cambium, just under the bark layer of the tree. Eats
okay.
that, and maybe goes a half inch into the wood. The rest of the wood is perfectly fine. Ash is one of those woods that's always been in the marketplace, but it's never been really recognized for its value. It's a beautiful wood, and being able to use it, you know, unfortunately, it's because the trees are dying that it's not getting its attention, but at least it's finally getting that attention. And at the same time, raising awareness of the effects of traveling woods across the world. Bringing emerald ash borer came from the other side of the planet. It's now killing our trees because we moved it so much. So this really is another way of remembering local has value.
Yeah, absolutely. What a good way to use a tree who, you know, maybe you can't keep it around outside, but you can still use it. I like that.
Lisa's getting a little teared up.
Yeah.
So is it my understanding that you're writing a book on this topic?
Right. When I started this, urban wood is one of those woods you typically didn't saw because of the nails in the tree, and they're still there, and that causes problems. But it's one of those where there are now more and more people recognizing the beauty of these trees and the stories that go with those trees. And so when I started, I knew of no one else doing it. Now I could probably name 70 companies across the country that are all taking this same banner and moving it forward. So somebody had to write a book about it, and I decided it might as well be me.
We're lucky enough to be with you.
Yes.
Very cool.
So the book is titled Tree to Table, and it's just defining and describing that whole movement that's happening, and it's growing like wildfire right now, although not using wood.
Yes. I like that kind of combination. That's funny. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Paul. You're the owner again of the Wood Cycle, so be sure to check you out online. The website, phone number.
Right, it's thewoodcycle.com.
Perfect.
And 608-712-3780.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Paul.
Okay, thanks.
And Girl Talk will be back right after this. We're at the Vinery. Stay tuned to Channel 57.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. Like I said earlier, if you haven't stopped in the Vinery yet, you're going to want to do so. And as promised, we're going to share with you a little bit about why. This place is incredible. And we are joined now by Denny, who's the owner, and Josh, who is, well, the master of all trades.
Jack
right?
of all trades, yes.
That's right. Thank you so much for having us here. We've had a lovely time so far.
Thanks.
Now, this place is really wonderful, so we're going to talk a little bit about what the Vinery has to offer customers. Gorgeous space, all kinds of beautiful things to look at, and it's really endless. But start with maybe what a typical day might be like here at the Vinery.
Oh, I don't think
That's a
there
big
is
question.
a typical day.
Every day is a little different.
It is. It's not typical at all. It's always something new. There's always different things coming through the door, different projects happening.
Yeah. When I first came in, I was sort of overwhelmed almost because I wasn't sure what to expect. You think stained glass, and then Josh was so great and walked me through the whole space, and there's so much to offer, things that I had no idea you could even do, and things to look at that are just so beautiful. And what's really incredible is some of the things that you're seeing, you can actually teach us to make too, so we'll talk a little bit about that.
I was just going to say, I was very inspired while I was walking through. Like, I could do that? That's great. Gotta get in here. Personally, what are some of your, I guess, highest achievements or things that you're most proud of here at the studio?
Well, there's a couple of areas. The store is sort of divided into two sections.
Okay.
The section that we're sitting in now is more of a teaching area, and we also sell supplies.
Okay.
So on the teaching side, I think the most rewarding thing is just being able to share, our skills with our customers and watch, kind of look in their eyes and see how satisfied they are when they walk out with a completed project, and that's really rewarding.
Yeah, I can imagine.
On the other side of the studio is our commission side, and we create stained glass windows for residences and churches and commercial buildings. And lately we've been doing a lot of church work, larger windows, and
Sure.
some of those have been phenomenal. So that would be, you know, what would be most rewarding right now.
Yeah, I saw some pretty large pieces over yonder, and they were beautiful. Just
The
incredible.
custom work is really incredible, and something that I was surprised to learn about too is even down to repairs. I mean, you can really create just about anything for a client, and if you think you've got this beautiful piece at home and you break a piece, I was saying to you before, I would think you pitch it, right? I mean, you can actually make
it's sentimental
Don't
value.
superglue it.
You
Yeah,
don't
right.
want to get rid of it. No, you
You
don't want to
can
get rid of it at all.
actually make something to replace that. So that's a topic we may get into another time, but let's focus a little bit on classes because I think there's a lot to talk about there. So what are some of the classes that you teach, and how can you reach out to folks and just sort of let them know what's here, because there's a lot available.
Well, I guess where it all kind of started is with stained glass. So that's kind of our basic class that we teach is stained glass. We teach beginning and intermediate. In the last 10 years, fused glass has become very popular. So we offer a whole array of different types of fused glass. And hopefully a little later on, we'll be able to show you some pieces that we teach in the classes.
Absolutely.
We also teach glass mosaics and also flame work, where people can work in front of a torch and blow glass
Yeah,
ornaments.
we're listening now. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, hopefully I can fire up a torch a little bit later and show you how that's done.
That sounds great. So you can actually teach us how to create these pieces and even use a torch. It can be done.
Safely.
Yes.
Yeah, safely. There's a key component there. I like that.
There's a lot of fused glass jewelry that I've been really interested in, and to make it yourself would be that much cooler.
Very
I
gratifying.
think. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what I often say, there's no previous experience necessary, so you can come in without any skills. We try to make people feel comfortable with the fact that they can create with glass without any previous experience.
That's excellent. So having one of the largest and I guess busiest art glass teaching studios in the Midwest, what do you attribute that success to?
I think the variety of classes that we offer, we draw maybe 300-400 mile radius for some of our classes where people will come in to take them. And then also the marketing side, we work pretty hard to let people know what we have available here.
Yeah, that you're here. That's excellent.
And let's talk a little bit about some of the student projects, and we'll make sure that we're showing them off as well as you're discussing them. But talk about some of those projects and what is sort of involved in these classes, and how do we get to the beautiful outcome?
I'll defer to Josh because he teaches an awful lot of classes here. So
How do we get to the beautiful outcome? We like to help people along the process. They like to think they can't create something sometimes, and it's fun to get people to teach them how to go through and make a beautiful piece and get over that little hump that they think they can't.
I'm not an artist. I can't do this.
Yeah, no, it's good to get people over that hump, and like I said, it's very gratifying to come home with a finished piece of something you made and you can show off, and
Absolutely.
people are amazed that it's a glass piece.
They created it. And
Yeah.
One thing that you said to me when I was in last week is that sometimes people have a very specific vision of what they want the outcome to be, and it doesn't always turn out that way. And you kind of let the art sort of take on a form
Letting
its
go
own.
of inhibition, yeah. Everyone wants to be kind of a perfectionist, and we try to kind of steer you away from that. Perfection does have its place in the glass world, but yeah, it's kind of, you got to let yourself go a little bit and let the glass kind of take on its own life at some point.
That's a life lesson. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
definitely.
incredible,
Life
right?
lessons at the Vinery. There are lots of lows
Free
here.
with class taking, right? Free with purchase. I think that's great.
So real quick before we go, I'm interested in what's next for you guys.
Well, that's a good question. I think that, one is we want to continue to offer as many different types of classes as possible.
Sure.
And get people in here so they can kind of relax and enjoy this environment.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, well, we've certainly relaxed and enjoyed ourselves here, and I think there's a lot more that, you know, meets the eye, and I'm, you know, hopeful to learn more about it. But you guys are incredible. Like I said, if you haven't been to the Vinery yet, make a point, stop in. I have driven by for a long time and never done it, and I finally did, and you won't be disappointed. So thanks so much.
Thank you for stopping.
This is Josh, and this is Denny from the Vinery. We're over here on the east side off of East Washington, so make sure you stop in. And that's it for us. Thanks, guys. Thanks to all of our guests for joining us, and thank you for watching. Join us next time for Girl Talk.